everybody. Welcome. This is CRL Chart Request Live. Spencer, Pat, no Steve today. Mr. Straza is flying to New York to gallivant, but that's all right. We still have requests and we still have a chart master with us. Pat, what's doing?
How we doing? Quite the day. I'm sure everybody is kind of fixated on the same thing. I mean, I know the market is.
What, Ethereum?
Yeah, right. No,
No, Japan making new 35-year highs?
that too. Okay,
Yeah,
fair. You're right. There's
yeah.
there's a lot to like right now.
A lot to
But
like.
of course, I mean, this is the 700-pound gorilla in the room. It's Nvidia. Just really just affecting everything today. Just one stock really moving it all. 15%. I have no idea what that is in market cap. I don't know if you've heard any stats, have you? Like in terms of this being, because remember
No,
Meta,
no.
Meta's last report, I think was like the biggest in terms of market cap. And before that, I think it was Nvidia's report back in like May. But this massive.
I can look up Nvidia's market cap gain today if you give me like 30 seconds. But
How do
I'm
you
sure
usually do that, actually? I
you
would
can
probably go to.
you can do no Y charts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, but I'm sure it's a lot. So anyway, here's my we have requests. We'll get to the request in a second. Here's my NVIDIA take. My NVIDIA take is not really a take on NVIDIA so much as a take on semis more broadly, which is
Sure.
if you were annoyed at the people crying foul that technology is the only sector driving the market for the last 10 years, if those people annoyed you, you just wait for the next 10 years when it's not even technology. It's just one industry group within technology. It's semiconductors, baby.
Yeah.
You just wait till it gets narrower and narrower and narrower. And yeah, have fun with that, people. But it's gonna be this is the
Yeah.
future.
And this Jensen Huang guy is really emerging as a celebrity too. I mean, it's like the next Steve Jobs or something. I know those are dangerous words because a lot of people who've been hailed that are either behind bars or broke. But
This is true. This is true.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get into it, shall we?
Let's just to put a bow on this. Yesterday, Nvidia's market cap was, we'll call it 1.7 trillion. Today it's like 1.93 or 94, $1.94 trillion. So, quarter, no big deal. Quarter trillion dollars in market cap in one day. Ain't no
I,
thing.
I I don't know if you can look it up. We can go back and look it up later. But so in May, it jumped 25% almost, but it was also a smaller company then. I mean, by smaller, we're talking pretty huge. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's get right to these requests.
Okay, to the request, if you haven't played the game by now, you don't know the drill, email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com or drop your questions in the chat. We'll do the questions from the inbox first. We'll start with QSR, Quick Service Restaurants. The owners, this is from Jeff. This is the owners of Burger King
Yeah.
and I believe Tim Hortons,
Ah,
which had there was one of those near me, believe it or not. And they own a few. I think they might own. Do they own Qdoba? They might own Qdoba as well.
it's possible. This is a nice chart, actually. Very nice. I haven't checked this one in a while, but clear level right here, 75.80. You could either buy the breakout at 80 here. It is getting rejected a little bit here, and it wouldn't be surprising to see it fully get rejected here. But eventually, if you get that breakout of 80, that could really signal a new leg higher here, and then turn to our trusted Fibonacci extensions here, looking at a target of 113. If you want to play it a little more aggressively, you could use closing prices on these fibs. Still gets you up to 107 there. So breaks 80, gets you to call it 110, in between these two.
Okay,
But it
that's
is struggling a little bit here. So I'd wait for that breakout.
that's pretty clean.
Yeah, let the market prove to you that it's ready to get into the blue skies.
Okay, my mistake. They don't own Qdoba. They own Popeyes and they own Firehouse Subs in addition to Timmy Ho's and BK.
Okay,
Anyway,
not bad. Not
moving
bad.
on.
Popeyes is great.
Moving on here. What about Nathan who gave us like five tickers? We're not going to do all these, but let's look at let's look at Win.
Oh,
I haven't
sure.
looked at I haven't looked at a casino stock in quite a while because It's all just DraftKings for me now.
Yeah, I mean they used to be hot. I think, like earlier in the 2000s, like you see this, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just been a mess. I don't know if it is because of maybe online gambling or what the issue is. I know they were really tied to China for a while. It was Wynn
Well,
and Las
all of them, they
Vegas.
all were. I mean, Las Vegas Sands doesn't even have any properties in Las Vegas.
Really? Oh,
No,
they're all
they
like Macau now?
it's all Macau. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. But yeah, so this one's just been a really, really messy one over the years. Now, I'm not sure if you gave a time frame here, but if we were to do a trade here, or if we were to look for a trade, I'm not sure there's one there. Yeah, it's just really messy here. I guess you could buy a breakout here of this. Here, let's clean it up a little here. You could buy a breakout of this 115 level here, but it's just really hard unless there's a dominant trend in place. It's really hard unless you're just looking for a quick trade. Maybe you could jump it a little bit by drawing a VWAP here. It's above that, but it's really tough here. If you do buy this breakout, maybe playing it to 140, 145 around here, but you can see that's been a pretty tough level too. Overall, I would just kind of try to avoid these kind of sideways stocks.
Yeah, messy, right? Not
Messy.
not clean. Not
Yeah,
clean.
just inviting headaches.
All right. What about this Indian bank? Who is this from? This is from Hanson, IBN. He's looking at
Okay.
IBN for a 6-month time horizon.
Oh wow. This one's really nice here. It's moving up a little bit. It's a little hard to define your risk here because it's kind of already moving out here, but breakout really happened today, I guess, on a short-term time frame. You see this little, call it like a flag almost. I would have liked to see kind of a bigger trend on the arrival, but breakout's a breakout here. I wouldn't let it go below here if it's a trade here, below like 25, 24 here. Then you start getting into this a little bit. But if you're buying here, I think you could look for, I don't know if you're going to get a lot with your fibs here. Yeah, you're not going to get much. 29 there. You kind of look here. Yeah, somewhere in between here, I'd say. Or actually, yeah, right at 29. It looks like two of them kind of line up right there. So yeah, I would say 25 gets you to 29. Not huge, but this one looks like a nice uptrend at least.
Okay, what about GPOR? This is Gulfport Energy. This is from who is this from again? This is from Andrew.
This one isn't bad. So this one
No, it looks pretty good actually.
yeah, very nice. Especially for an energy stock. I mean, energy is actually catching up a little bit here, but not every day you see these energy stocks at all-time highs.
And this is for a 1 month or even a 1 year time frame.
Oh, okay. 1 month, that seems like a prime time frame, maybe a couple months, but 140, if it's above 140, that looks good there. Again, I would kind of fib it out. 153, not a ton of upside there, but if you keep your stop pretty tight here, keep it at like 137-ish, then it's still worth the risk and reward there. And you could even pull it out to another fib here, like we did with the last one. Could look at 153 if you wanted more of an aggressive price target. But yeah, this is a decent one.
Okay, last one from the inbox. This is from Wavy. He's looking at WES. This is what he said. I know nothing about this company or this stock. He said it's 49% owned by Oxy. And Oxy is looking to sell it to pay down their debt.
Wait, am I looking at the right thing? It's WES.
That's what he said. WES. Is that what is that?
Must be Western Midstream Partners. Okay. I was looking at some
Western
Australian
Gas.
stuff.
Yeah. Western Gas.
So this looks like it might be an MLP.
It is, I believe,
Okay.
MLP.
And he says it's mostly owned by Occidental.
And he says Oxy's looking to sell it, so
Interesting.
it's on the market.
Oh, that's right. You know, I did see headlines about this. I'd be looking up that 40, this little shelf right here.
Oh, it's not an MLP. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
I don't think so.
I would be looking at this shelf right here, 40, 41 for potential profits here. Um, this is a weird one where it just moves sideways for months, years. But you're finally getting this resolution this week. So yeah, look to 40. If it goes beyond that, then you're looking at back at the 2014, 2015 highs around 60, 62. But quite a nice move today. You know, the bigger the sideways consolidation, the nicer the trend.
Yep.
So
One day though, Pat, does one day make a breakout?
no, one day it doesn't, but this is a weekly, so this is 1 week. But
Okay.
still.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
So I mean, you do have a little bit of a nice breakout here, but you're right. I mean, we do need a little bit more confirmation before. I mean, this today's move is a decisive move, I'd say.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, to the chat we go. Let's look at MongoDB, MDB for Joe.
MDB. Ooh, very nice one here. So this one's kind of trying to retest this one, but you got the breakout 2 weeks ago. That call it 450 level. So it's retesting that level. You could see it was resistance in the July highs here, the December highs, and those March 2022 highs. If this is successful, like if it doesn't break back down into that below 44, call it, yeah, I mean, this is an expensive stock, but if it doesn't break down meaningfully below those former highs and it's successful rebounds here, you're looking at the former all-time highs around 600. I mean, this looks like it's really completing a base here. So I would be surprised if it doesn't get back to those all-time highs, right around 570 to 600 there. So that's how I would play that. But if you want to play it even more, if you want to play the breakout beyond that, then you're looking at like 860 for a potential target. So you know, you want to see this base complete first, maybe take some profits off there in case it gets rejected initially at those former all-time highs. And then if it breaks that, then maybe you add some size back on or just let it ride. But really nice setup here, really nice long-term uptrend, and you have what looks like probably the biggest drawdown ever. I mean, it's pretty clear, but 75% drawdown on a name that was just steadily trudging higher for about 5 years. So
look, the way I see it is like there are two classes of software stocks. There are those that have come back to their 21 levels, or at least are on their way, and those that are very much not on their way.
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Pretty much that's the group. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Are you on your way back, or are you not on your way back? Are you Zoom, or are you DraftKings, or are you Uber? Right, or Uber. Like that. That's it to me.
In a way, like these last 4 years, the bear market, everything, it's been kind of a good like filter, right? Of the stuff that actually is quality and the stuff that's not.
For
But
sure.
you're absolutely right. It's two classes right now.
All right. What about XBI? Give me a biotech ETF. What do we got?
XBI looks
okay. So that growthy,
Yeah.
not tech, but tech-ish, tech adjacent,
Absolutely. Yep.
and not on its way back.
Yeah. Well, so this one looks great though. This one looks like it's finally ready. And
Okay.
I'll show you a few reasons why.
Please.
Another thing is if this goes, that would be huge for small caps, because small caps' biggest problem right now in terms of sectors is regional banks, biotech. Those are the big ones. There's a few other ones in there too, but if biotech can get going, that would be huge. And you know, if for a lot of people who might be newer to trading, biotech was the place to be when I started my career. I mean, between 2011 and 2015, this thing was just, I mean, biotech was just such a hot industry. And then, you know, there was some regulatory stuff. You know, Hillary made it a big part of her platform to go after drug pricing and everything. And then in 2015, I remember there was a tweet she sent, but that got, you know, pinned as the top. and it's just been a mess ever since.
Do
Sure,
you
you got,
remember? Do you remember the four horsemen of the biotech?
let me try to guess. It was because you know what? We talked about Teva in the heat check yesterday, and Teva was one of those that was
That was
just
that
it,
that was not one of the horsemen,
it
but yes,
wasn't,
that
but it
was a
was a
high.
hot one.
It
It
was a
was
hot
one of
one.
those that
Yeah.
like people just trusted. It was almost like a Google or Amazon or Apple where you just buy it. You know, it's one of those. But the four horsemen, let me guess. It was Biogen, Amgen. Oof.
I just to be clear, I don't entirely remember myself. I
Oh, okay.
know Gilead was in there. It was
Okay,
Gilead,
Gilead. Yep.
Biogen. I think Jazz was in
Jazz
there.
Pharmaceutical. That's not around anymore, is it?
I think it is, right? Someone in chat, help us out. Yeah, I can look it up, but I'm not going to. Gilead, Biogen, Jazz.
Oh, this is if this is
Um,
Jazz Pharmaceuticals still, man. I mean, talk.
what was
But
the
this
last
is a
one?
perfect
Regeneron.
example.
Regeneron. Thank you,
Oh,
Frank.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is a perfect example of, since 2015, for the last decade, really, this has just been Regeneron. What REGN, right?
Yeah. That one has worked out.
Oh, that's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But this has been one of those that it's been kind of tough to own because it's not like a clean breakout. It's been like this like slow and steady breakout
Yeah.
where it's kind of hard to get in. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so
All right,
so
back
point
to the
is,
XBI. Yeah.
yeah, point is this has been a tough industry, but when it has its day in the sun, it really goes and it's a real party. So if this goes, that would be huge. Anyway, you can see this is a clear level. We've knocked on that door so many times, and typically the weaker a level becomes, or the more times it's tested, the weaker it becomes. And this one, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, we all got super excited, myself included, about biotech, uh, kind of towards the end of last year and the start of this year, and then just kind of fizzled out. It didn't really break down, but it didn't go anywhere. We got all excited for nothing and it just consolidated. That I think is really constructive that you did kind of form that little consolidation and it didn't kind of really sell off there, just kind of like built up energy for a bigger resolution here. And here you're finally getting that breakout. And if you drop a VWAP here, we're closing right above that. We closed above it last week. And so we're breaking this. A lot of reasons. And you didn't really get that closing breakout last time. So I really do think that this might be the time for biotech. And I would be playing this up to 109. But also, because once we've established kind of a bullish thesis on biotech, then you can go and drill down to some of the components within it and look for some of the opportunities there. And what you would want to be looking for is looking for relative strength within biotech. Look for some that have been pretty steady over the past 3 months or 6 months that have been outperforming the space. And that's kind of where you want to be looking within this.
All right. Well, speaking of stocks that are breaking out after going nowhere for a long time, Josh is asking about News Corp, NWSA. These are the owners of Dow Jones and Wall Street Journal and Barron's and all that good stuff.
Wow. Very nice chart. Yeah,
Is it really? I mean, we've gone from like 18 to 26 in like 10 years. Is that?
well, so no. In since March of last year.
All right, fine.
But no, I like this base a lot. But it is funny how many companies they own, right? Like there's so much of our news sources come from one company like that. Um, whether that's MarketWatch or whoever it is, they're all owned by this one. Um,
A lot of them. That's true.
so it's been basing there since 2021. Nice 3-year base. If it breaks this 20, call it 28 if you want to really be sure, but I would jump it a little bit and call it 27. If it breaks 27 or 28, ride it up to 36 here. I think that's a decent target here. And, from the work we do in the buzz and looking for trending tickers, New York Times has actually been showing up a lot. And I think you'll probably get these news companies picking up towards the election. For whatever reason.
Yeah. There's
I mean,
there's definitely like don't be surprised to see it trickle through to the bottom line. I know this is a technical show, but I mean
Yeah.
the Trump bump was a very real phenomenon for these companies. News Corp, New York Times, like you said. Yeah, it's a real thing. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again.
When
Um,
when the pandemic hit, the chart report was still kind of young, and I remember thinking, oh man, we're entering into this bear market. Nobody's going to read the chart report. It's people are just going to want to avoid the markets completely. It couldn't be further from the truth. When in uncertain times or when things like that are going on, people want answers. They want information, and that's the time that people really are looking. So I could totally see these, or what you said being absolutely true.
okay, what about ICLR? This is a icon. This is the I don't know health pharma. I think this is pharma, right? I think so.
Commercial services.
I don't quite know anything about this company. I know they're not American.
Yeah, wait, yeah, you said biotech or
Um, yeah, sure. Biotech, pharma, sure.
yeah, it said services to the pharmaceutical, biotech, and medical device
Okay.
industry. Okay. All right. Um, Great chart though. Really, really nice chart here. Uh, it's breaking out too. I mean, you could buy this breakout here. This is very actionable. I like it above 300 and anywhere above 300, that's good. Below it, really hard to make a case for owning it, but beautiful, beautiful, call it 2, 3 year base right here. Um, Above 300, that gets you to 400. Couldn't be a cleaner chart. Whoever brought this, my hat's off to you because this is a really
Hey,
nice.
hats off, Sambo. Sorry, not Sambo. Sambo 161.8 to be
Hey,
exact.
okay, all
All
right.
right.
So I know he likes my target then. Very nice, Sam.
Okay. What about Albemarle? Did I say that right for
Yeah.
vintage?
Well, I don't know. Albemarle?
I
Yeah.
don't. I never know how to say this one.
Yeah. So this one's the biggest lithium miner out there, right? Or maybe I might have made that up, but they're one of the biggest publicly traded ones. Um, it's been rough. I think let's look at lit here. And I'm pretty sure this is the biggest component in lit. You'd have to double check me on that. But
Oh, I can check.
our friend James Bartoloni, great technician and kind of uses a very different style than we're used to. Um, he actually put this one on my radar a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Man, look at this thing. This is just." And he found a level on it that he thought it would rebound on, but at the time, and this was a few weeks ago, so take off those last few bars here. This thing was just falling like a knife, and the broader market was actually picking up. Even these areas like ARC stocks that have just been decimated, they were even rebounding. Even solar was rebounding, but lit has not really been able to catch a bid except these last couple weeks. So tested these former 2018 highs, and it's actually finding support there. And I think that's kind of an important message. Now you are catching a falling knife, so you got to know what you're getting into here. But I think that little rebound gave you kind of a tradable low here, or it gave you a level to lean on. So let's say you enter here at 43, you put a stop here at 39. If it falls below there, you're wrong. But if it rebounds here, then I think you'd want to be looking up towards 58 for your potential profits. And I'm curious to see what RSI looks like here. Yeah, RSI doesn't look that great. It's not really giving you.
So this is for lit, but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like it's the same. It's the same idea. It's the
Same
same idea.
ideas. Yeah,
Yeah.
same idea. This one, it's not as quite as clean of a retest here. You did kind of violate those highs, but RSI looking much better here on this divergence here. You see price made a new low 2 weeks ago. RSI did not. It couldn't even get oversold. That's a bullish sign that it's trying to reverse. And it didn't hold. Sorry, let me blow this up a little. It didn't hold these 2017 highs here, but it did hold this shelf. It looks like this is kind of an important area here. Down here. So it's kind of holding above that there. That's nice if it can really dig in here And if it could break this high here, that would be real confirmation. These year-to-date highs here, that would be a lot more confirmation. But it's a tough one. You know, it's definitely not an area of relative strength, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. What this is an interesting one that I like from Shay EG. CQQQ seems to have bottomed. Time to buy BABA for a reversal. Um, you know what, Shay, you are not the first person that I've seen ask this question in the last couple
Man,
weeks about China. It seems like lots of people are. Here's my take on China and
yeah,
BABA, CQQ, whatever. Um, the worst thing that can happen is it just stays in this range. That'd be awful, right? What I do like about Alibaba is that there's a very clearly defined out, right?
yeah.
It's the recent low of that whatever that low is from a couple months ago now,
Yep.
or I don't even know.
October low, yeah.
Yeah, October low. What's that? 80 58, right?
58,
I
yeah.
mean that's a bit of a ways away, right?
But to
That's a
your
nice
point,
haircut.
that is your clear level, right? I mean, look at
Yeah,
this. This was the post IPO lows. This
right.
was all-time lows. So that is your level for this
You could
stock.
even be more tactical and say the 2024 low, whatever that is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Which was like a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Right,
Uh,
exactly.
but I mean, I
Um,
guess we're only 8 weeks in.
so yeah, I guess if you want to buy dip, I mean, yeah, have at it. But the worst nightmare is this thing just stays in a range for years, and you're just wasting your time and your money.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, China more broadly, I do think it's really interesting here. I mean, it's findings. Let's pull it all the way out to a monthly here, right?
Gosh.
Um, and you know, this is a hero trade here. Nobody's asking you to get to buy the dip on China here, but um, it is really interesting here, and a lot of signs are pointing to a bottom. It's a really tough one. You are catching a falling knife, like we said with the other trade too, the Albemarle one. So
Yeah.
this is the monthly, right? And this is the 2008 lows, and then again in 2022, and here we are rebounding off those this month in February. Now we go down to a weekly here. Again, just clear double bottom. I'm not a huge double bottom pattern guy, but I do like it when RSI does not get oversold and doesn't make a new low like this. That's a bullish momentum divergence. I wouldn't get too cute on it though. I think if you do, if you're lucky enough to get this bounce, I think you play it up to 32. That's these January 2023 highs, so basically last year's highs. And that's a nice trade. I mean, that's 40% almost. So I would just take it off there. And you're also dealing with, you know, these former lows, the COVID lows.
Yeah.
So that's
Look,
tough.
like you said, this is the definition of a hero trade. Sometimes heroes win.
It's true.
Anybody buying tech stocks in the fall of 2022, you're a hero, right? And you
Yeah.
won, right? Congrats to you. You earned it. Sometimes they don't win, right? So, you know, to each their own.
To each their own. But you know, as long as with those trades, you really, really need to have an out. And like Spencer said, I mean, on FXI, at least your out is clearly this 21, 20 level. And I'm sorry, we were looking at Baba, right? Yeah, Baba. It's clearly that 58 level that we highlighted there. As long as you kind of have a line in the sand on those hero trades, that's the responsible way to YOLO, I guess.
Sure, sure. Okay, here's a new one for me that I didn't even know was public. This is from Serby in the chat. Can you look at Rolls Royce? Here's the
Oh,
ticker. Here's the ticker. It's RYCEY. So it trades over the counter here in the US.
really?
So it's very thinly traded,
Interesting.
not super liquid, but it is Rolls Royce, and they had earnings overnight here. So that's the pop today.
Interesting. Now, I don't really know. I mean, I'd have to look into this one more. I didn't know that it was publicly traded. Like, can you just actively buy this one?
Sure, I traded over the counter, so if you can buy over the counter securities, then yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I mean, if it clears this little congestion area, say call it a $5. Especially with these smaller price stocks, I really like psychological levels. You know, I think they're kind of important when you're dealing with these names because, you know, that's a big deal when something breaks $5 for the first time psychologically, gets people thinking about that sort of handle when they're entering orders. Anyway, if it breaks 5, I think you play it up to 850 here. And that is kind of just the shelf of support from 2019 here. I don't love that it's that cheap of a stock. I don't know why a big company like this would be so thinly traded. I don't know if it's just like
I can tell you it's probably, and this is just me guessing here, this is like a over the counter like ADR, like Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce is not like the company themselves did not say, hey, let's trade in the US. Somebody somewhere, some bank was like, hey, let's list the stock in the US and on behalf of Rolls-Royce and do like swaps.
The company doesn't have to approve that or anything.
No, it like I mean for an ADR, it's called unsponsored, where the company doesn't sponsor it, and some other third party does and say, hey, we are going to construct this thing and start and make a trade, and we will basically do it all via swaps, more or less, and like it's the same thing on paper, right? It's the same thing. It's just one of them you can do with the company's permission, the other one you can do without their permission. You just need a shit ton of capital, basically, to facilitate it. But I mean, the fact that this company trades over the counter in the U.S. just says that Rolls-Royce does not give a shit at all about trading in the U.S. They don't care, which is fine. It's totally they're right not to care, right? Yeah. By the way, Josh says Rolls-Royce is a aerospace and defense play. The cars are a sideshow.
Yeah, I wonder. I was, in my head, I was thinking about Boeing and how everybody would love an alternative.
Wait, there's two Rolls-Royces? What? There's two Rolls-Royces.
Well, so they're. I know they are like.
Oh my God, I'm so confused.
They have like a airplane engine business. I know that's a big part of their.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is probably a good place for us to stop because I'm totally confused now.
But yeah, now I'm looking at this one.
Okay. I don't know which is which. I don't know which is which. I don't know which is which.
London Stock Exchange, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we found some great ones. This one Sam pulled up. I'm gonna look into this one further. Not this one. Icon, whatever that one was.
ICL. What was it? You gotta scroll now. ICLR. Yeah.
ICLR. Yeah, that one might have been the favorite of the show right here.
Okay.
Beautiful brace and just a really clean, easy to remember trade. 300 gets you 400. That's and he's a Fibonacci fan too. I like that. So.
All right, that'll be a wrap for us here on Chart Request Live. Steve will be back in his usual seat on Tuesday. But I
like mixing it up with you, though. It's nice.
You should mix it up more often. It's fun. It's fun. If you're watching us on YouTube, do me a quick favor. Hit that thumbs up button for me, please, and thank you. If you're watching us on stockmarkettv.com, you can click on that YouTube button. It takes you to YouTube and hit the thumbs up button there. That's a wrap for us here. Subscribe to the channel. Send us an email. We do the email request first. questions@stockmarketmedia.com. And that's what I got. Pat, any last words?
We covered it all. Yeah.
All right. See you, everyone.
Bye.